59 minutes left, Archangel Michael says. A sealed envelope with your breakthrough is being delivered in spirit. Beloved one, I come to you now in a sacred moment, a breath between time and eternity. The clocks of heaven are turning, and the sands within the divine hourglass are thinning with quiet intensity. There are 59 minutes left, and every one of them is trembling with the vibration of your name. You have felt it, haven't you? The strange stirring, the stillness before something unexplainable, the flickering of signs in dreams, the repetition of numbers, the gentle chills when silence speaks louder than words. That is not coincidence. That is not imagination. That is the spirit world adjusting the path in front of you, because something is being released, something sealed, something sacred, and you are its rightful recipient. A sealed envelope is being delivered, but not by post, not by earthly means. This message is being carried in light, in vibration, in whisper and wind. And Archangel Michael speaks now, clear, authoritative, and merciful. You have waited long, child of light. You have endured in silence, in confusion, in private ache. But the time of waiting has completed its circle. A document bearing your name is being released in the realm of spirit. It is not just news, it is breakthrough. It is not just a letter, it is a divine contract. This is a moment long prophesied in your soul, not marked on earthly calendars, but engraved in the scrolls of heaven. And yet, you must know this. There are forces that do not want you to receive what is inside. Because once you open what is sealed for you, cycles will break, chains will fall, and the version of you that was kept small, silent, and suppressed will finally stand in divine authority. You've likely noticed the resistance, the sudden delays, the strange heaviness when you try to focus on your calling, the people pulling you back into emotional chaos at the exact moment you're about to rise. These are not coincidences. These are distractions, deliberate interferences launched by unseen opposition trying to keep your hands from this envelope of truth. But Archangel Michael, the warrior of divine clarity, is standing beside you, sword drawn, wings wide. His voice is not of this world. And he says, the breakthrough is not coming. It is already en route. But it must be signed for in spirit. You must prepare your soul to receive it, for it will not wait forever. You have 59 minutes, not in time, but in spiritual window. That means this moment is sacred and alive. You must engage with it. Listen carefully now. This envelope does not contain random blessing. It contains what your soul requested before your birth. It holds the activation of a promise made in light, in secret, when your spirit said yes to a greater path. But promises, even divine ones, require partnership. You cannot receive something you're not prepared to recognize. And so I ask you now, are your hands open or clenched? Is your heart available or buried under layers of fear? You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You only need to be willing to believe again. Because what is written in this envelope is specific. It is detailed. It speaks not just of general abundance, but of your destiny, of things only heaven and you know, of prayers you whispered when you thought no one heard. There are instructions inside. There is a name. There is a number. There is a next step. But if you are too distracted by discouragement, you may miss the moment it arrives. You may walk past the spiritual hand extended to you. You may ignore the dream that carries the code. You may dismiss the person sent to unlock the next chapter. This is why heaven is speaking urgently. This is why Michael's voice is louder than usual. Because time and spirit is bending toward fulfillment, and your yes is required. Right now, things around you may not reflect what is coming. But remember, the postmark of divine timing does not operate in visible ways. Spiritual packages arrive before the evidence around you changes, and faith is the only key that opens them. So open your ears now. Let your soul remember. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not being punished. You are being summoned to receive something sealed in your name. Let us return to this moment, this holy brink, this trembling second where time and eternity intertwine. You are being watched. Yes, watched from the heavens, from realms beyond what eyes can comprehend. Angels lean near, not out of pity, but out of honor. For you are among the few who have not let the flame go out. Even in darkness, you have carried it. Even in silence, you have hoped. And now, because of that silent endurance, the envelope has been released. It was sealed in light, written with words not of ink, but of vibration. Every syllable inside is a frequency. Every sentence, an activation. This is not just paper, it is prophecy. And here, Archangel Michael lifts the envelope in his radiant hand. He holds it before you, not to tease you, but to remind you. This is yours. But not everyone is allowed to open it. The ones who mock spirit, they will not hear. The ones who chase quick answers, they will never see. The ones who numb themselves in cycles of distraction, the envelope passes right over them. But you have chosen to see with spiritual eyes. You have chosen to feel what others suppress. You have chosen to walk the unseen road, barefoot in faith, even when no one applauded. And that, dear soul, is why your name is on this. Now listen, this part is crucial. The envelope contains a divine reversal. It details an unraveling of injustice, a restoration of time lost, and the release of what was spiritually withheld from you. Inside are 3 sacred declarations. The delay has ended. The thing you thought you missed, the opportunity, the connection, the dream, it has not passed you. The delay was not denial. It was divine alignment. You are not behind. You are exactly where breakthrough will find you. The inheritance is active. Yes, inheritance, not in the earthly sense of money alone, but of spiritual authority. This is your season to step into something generational, something someone else forfeited, but you remained faithful to. Your name is being mentioned in rooms you've never entered, in prayers by people you haven't met, in divine conversations between angels. Your name is echoing because heaven has moved your file to the top. Something has been accelerated. But here's where the warning comes. As the envelope is delivered in spirit, there are forces watching, scrambling, growing desperate. Because the contents of your breakthrough threaten their illusion of control. Michael says, they will try to distract you with arguments, with doubt, with fatigue. They will send false confirmations to confuse you, false opportunities to delay you. Do not engage. Do not respond emotionally. Stay centered. Stay still. Heaven does not scream. It whispers. This is not the time to second-guess yourself. This is not the time to entertain the voices of guilt, shame, or old identities. Because once you open this envelope, there is no going back. You cannot unknow your calling. You cannot unsee your authority. You cannot unhear what God has spoken over your life. Now, what must you do to receive this? Not in works, but in alignment. You must clear space. Something old must be released today. An item, a thought, a habit, or a toxic bond. Be still when prompted. Your mind will want to react. Your flesh will crave distraction. But Michael says, listen instead of looking. Say aloud, I receive the sealed word assigned to me. This verbal agreement in the earthly realm allows the spiritual delivery to be completed. Heaven operates in law. A contract requires consent. Your spirit's yes is already known, but your earthly agreement seals it. Now, let us go deeper. The envelope does not just speak of what is to come. It also reveals why it had to take this long. There were people who had to reveal themselves. There were paths that had to be blocked so you wouldn't settle. There were pieces of you that had to die, not because you were being punished, but because they were never part of the real you. You see, this breakthrough was never delayed. It was being custom prepared, and had it come too soon, you might have made it smaller. You might have handed it to someone unworthy. You might have feared your own expansion. But now, you are ready. Not because you're flawless, but because you're finally aligned. Because you've let go of the illusion that you must earn what is already written for you. Michael says, you are being delivered the word of your next elevation. You do not need to chase it. only to recognize it, only to honor the moment of delivery. And here's something that may surprise you. The envelope is not arriving through grand display. It's coming through a subtle confirmation, a repeated phrase, a dream, a person saying exactly what your soul needed to hear. A pause in time where you feel undeniable peace. That is how you'll know. That is the knock on your door. But many miss it because they expect fireworks. And heaven often moves in whispers that echo louder than thunder. You are in the 59-minute window. But that doesn't mean pressure. It means presence. This is your invitation to step into divine awareness. The sealed envelope is sacred. What is inside changes everything. And you were chosen to receive it. The heavens are not still. Even now, as you read these words, there is movement in the unseen. Wings stir, scrolls unfurl. The soft roar of a holy dispatch vibrates across dimensions. Why? Because you have not just been chosen, you have answered. And in the realm of spirit, response births release. There is a tremble in the atmosphere. Not fear, reverence. Because one who was once buried in delay, drowned in discouragement, and entangled in spiritual fog has risen up in awareness. You are not who you were even moments ago. And that is what makes you ready to receive the contents of this sealed envelope. Now let me reveal to you something the Spirit has long waited for you to remember. This breakthrough is not isolated. It is the unlocking of a spiritual lineage. A chain of promises once spoken over your ancestral line, but dropped, abandoned, or fought against. You are not only stepping into your own blessing, you are reclaiming sacred ground on behalf of those who came before you. There were ancestors who dreamed but never saw, who prayed but never escaped the weight, who felt the call but were denied by systems, silence, or sabotage. And you, yes, you, were appointed to complete what they could not. Inside the envelope is not just a promise to you. It is a generational contract. It includes redemption of time, restoration of honor, and return of stolen spiritual inheritance. Michael speaks with solemn thunder. You stand as the hinge between what was lost and what shall be fulfilled. The moment you open this, your bloodline shifts. Generational battles collapse. The residue of delay evaporates. The lies spoken over your name lose power. Can you feel the gravity? This is why you felt the pressure. This is why warfare intensified before this moment. Because the darkness knew something was coming, but it could not stop you. And now, the angelic realm has deployed reinforcement. Let me show you. Around you now are not only watchers, but warrior angels. 3, specifically, assigned for this hour. The angel of clarity, holding a lamp, unveiling the truth behind confusion and false alignment. The angel of acceleration, with feet like fire, sent to quicken what was held back. The angel of transfer, carrying the spiritual authority to remove what was never yours and replace it with what was divinely spoken over you. They are not here to comfort you. They are here to escort you. You see, when the envelope is received in spirit, you are not only informed, you are repositioned. You step out of waiting rooms. You exit false assignments. You drop old armor that no longer fits. Michael says, you are not being blessed. You are being awakened to what was already yours. And now, the system of heaven will move to support your alignment. But this next part is where many fall. Once you receive the envelope in spirit, you must protect what it says. Because the moment you know the truth of your identity, the enemy will send counter-narratives. They will sound like doubt, like guilt, like old voices from your past. Like, who do you think you are? Like, that's too big for someone like you. But remember this. The content of your envelope is not based on your performance. It is based on your agreement. Heaven saw your brokenness and still said, send it to them. Heaven saw your fears and still said, they will rise. Heaven saw your imperfection and still called you worthy. Now, I want to share something sacred with you. Inside the envelope is a single phrase, one line, one declaration that changes everything. It reads, the season of silencing is over. Speak, move, rise. This is the command. It's not just about receiving. It's about what you must now do. Because this breakthrough is not passive. It carries a responsibility. You are not just being restored. You are being commissioned. There are 3 things Archangel Michael now instructs you to do over the next 24 hours to complete the alignment. Anoint your space. Light a candle. Pray aloud. Declare your readiness. This signals to Spirit that your atmosphere is prepared for the full delivery. Write your yes. Literally. On paper. In your handwriting. 1 sentence. I say yes to the divine contract over my life. Keep it where you can see it. This seals the agreement between you and heaven. Break 1 cycle. 1 habit, 1 pattern, 1 tie that has kept you delayed. This becomes your offering, your sign of agreement that you will not miss this shift. Michael reminds you. Many ask for the envelope. Few act like they've received it. Do not be like the many. Let your yes be known. And now, finally, I must reveal this. Once you receive what is inside the envelope, a divine countdown begins. Not in fear, not in threat, but in momentum. Doors begin to open. People are drawn to you without explanation. Resources appear. Ideas download. The unfamiliar begins to feel natural. The uncomfortable becomes confirmation. That's when you'll know. The envelope wasn't just a message. It was a map. Open your heart wide now. Not with fear, but with reverence. Not with panic, but with expectation. Because once you've seen what's written in this envelope, you can never again return to spiritual sleep. And that is the true beginning, not of change, but of divine activation. You have been entrusted with a holy map, not one made of streets and buildings, but one made of spiritual instruction, alignment, and timing. This breakthrough is not random. It is deeply designed. And the blueprint inside the envelope confirms what your spirit has suspected for years. There is territory with your name on it. There are places you must walk, rooms you must enter, and lives you must speak into. Not to be seen, but to be sent. Not to compete, but to complete a sacred assignment. Archangel Michael now reveals what so many miss after receiving the message. That breakthrough comes with direction. He says, you are not merely being blessed. You are being positioned. Heaven does not give without purpose. This envelope delivers more than encouragement. It delivers instructions. Now listen closely. This divine blueprint includes 3 realms. 1 people. There are 3 categories of souls your breakthrough will immediately impact. Those who must go. Some connections were only bridges. Not homes. Not destiny. They were used to teach, to reflect, to refine, but their time is complete. The blueprint will stir discomfort in those who were only aligned with your old season. Don't mourn their distance. Bless their exit. Those who will appear. These are divine allies, assigned by heaven, not for convenience, but for covenant. They will not flatter you. They will recognize you. They come with confirmation, with wisdom, with keys. Those you are assigned to. Your voice is needed. Your story is a seed. Someone's next step depends on your obedience. The blueprint names them not by identity, but by urgency. They are waiting. Speak soon. 2. Territory. The envelope also unveils geographic and spiritual ground that has long waited for your arrival. It may be a new city or one you're returning to with new eyes. A digital space where your words carry healing through unseen waves. A role, a platform, a position once occupied by someone who misused it, but now restored for righteous use. Michael speaks clearly. Go where the peace leads. Go where resistance breaks. Go where your gifts ignite. That is your land. But do not rush. Do not force. The territory will recognize you just as you recognize it. It will respond. Things will begin to flow where there was once friction. 3. Provision. This is perhaps the most misunderstood part of the blueprint. Because provision in heaven is not just about money. It is about what enables the mission to move. Inside this envelope is a release of provision that is timed and targeted. It will arrive as divine connections that solve what you couldn't. unexpected favor in places where you were once ignored, financial release tied not to striving, but to stepping. And here is what few understand. Provision always follows movement. It does not precede it. It waits for your yes. It aligns with your action. This is why the blueprint doesn't give you a 5-year plan. It gives you the next instruction. And when you obey it, more is revealed. It unfolds like a scroll, not a spreadsheet. Michael's voice thunders gently now. Stop waiting for everything to make sense. Move with what you know. Obey with what you have. Heaven never leaves an obedient soul unsupported. And now, we arrive at a sacred checkpoint. Because some, upon seeing this blueprint, will freeze. They will doubt their worth. They will shrink under the weight of the call. They will delay until the envelope grows dim in their memory. But not you. You are being given this message now because heaven trusts you to respond. You would not be reading this unless the blueprint was active. Let me tell you what happens next if you walk forward. Old fears lose their voice. What used to paralyze you now becomes fuel. Dreams return, but with clarity. You no longer fantasize, you see and do. Provision begins to find you. You stop chasing. You start attracting. Spiritual opposition shifts. Attacks lose power when you stop hiding. This envelope was never about small breakthroughs. It is about positioning you as a living portal for divine movement on earth. You are the open gate. You are the shift in your lineage. You are the divine answer to a long unanswered cry. But you must decide. Will you follow the blueprint or file it away as inspiration? Because the envelope is real. Its contents are alive. And the moment you act like you've received it, everything starts to change. The final pages of the envelope unfold. Not with panic, not with pressure, but with the quiet thunder of spiritual certainty. You are no longer waiting to be chosen. You are no longer wondering if you heard right. You are no longer pleading for signs in every silence. You are inside the delivery window, and the message has landed. The envelope is no longer being carried toward you. It has arrived. It is open. And what you do now will determine what forms around you in the next cycle of time. Archangel Michael speaks now, not as a warrior alone, but as a witness. He says, "You have agreed in spirit. Now heaven agrees in motion. What was once pending is now moving. What was once hidden is now visible. What was once locked is now in your hand. But beloved, you must understand. When something this sacred is delivered, the atmosphere will try to counter it. You must be vigilant. The moment your spirit is activated, the opposing realm becomes threatened. Not because of what you said, but because of what you've now seen. So let me now reveal to you what Archangel Michael warns will try to interfere in the next 72 hours, and how to stand above it. 1. The spirit of distraction. It will come subtly, not as evil, but as urgent. Sudden stress, random demands, unexpected noise, all designed to pull your gaze from what was just revealed. Your defense, stillness. Guard your mind. Limit unnecessary noise. Fast from chaos. Do not engage arguments, even internal ones. This is sacred ground. 2. The spirit of regression. You'll feel a pull toward old habits, old fears, old voices. The version of you that almost accepted delay as your destiny will knock one last time. Your defense, declaration. Speak aloud. I no longer live there. I no longer belong there. Your words will mark new territory in spirit. Refuse to rehearse your old limitations. 3. The spirit of delay, disguised as logic. This is the trickiest one. It will sound wise. It will say, wait until you're more ready, until it's more clear, until you have more support. But this spirit doesn't come to protect you. It comes to paralyze you. Your defense, movement. Take the first step, even if it's small, even if no one sees it, even if it scares you. Heaven moves with movement. Faith is forward. Now, as the envelope closes, you must seal it on earth as it has already been sealed in heaven. Michael instructs you to complete the sealing with a prophetic act. Choose one of the following within the next 24 hours. Pour water over your hands. Say aloud, what is mine returns to me. Place your hand over your heart and whisper your own name with honor. This reclaims identity. Write down one instruction you received and act on it immediately. This seals alignment with divine movement. These acts are not for theatrics. They are for agreement. They let heaven know, I am not just hearing. I am walking. And here's what happens next. A ripple begins in your atmosphere. It moves through conversation, email, encounter, dream. Something begins to respond to the message you've received. You'll notice things break loose. People respond differently. Ideas accelerate. Resources emerge from unseen corners. Because once heaven has delivered, creation must obey. Now comes the final moment. Michael's words are no longer distant. They are beside you. They are over you. They are within you. Your time of spiritual waiting has concluded. You will see what was hidden. You will touch what was promised. You will step into what you nearly gave up on. The envelope is yours. The breakthrough is activated. Walk it out. Heaven is with you. And so, beloved, rise now, not just in body, but in awareness. Speak now, not just in faith, but in authority. Move now, not just in hope, but in confidence. You are not waiting for the miracle. You are becoming the vessel through which it flows. There is a stillness now, not the stillness of absence, but the stillness of completion. Heaven is quiet, not because nothing is happening, but because everything has been set into motion. The delivery is finished. The instructions have been released. And now, all of creation is aligning itself to match the decree spoken over your life. Archangel Michael does not leave without a final word. He does not disappear without a final covering. For the realms of light do not speak lightly, and they do not speak without lasting assignment. Let this be known. You are no longer the one waiting on the threshold. You are now the one who has entered into divine knowledge, entered into divine positioning, entered into divine flow. And the spiritual envelope delivered to you in this message has done more than inform. It has rearranged everything around you. Though your room may look the same, though your calendar may still carry the same dates, though your eyes still see familiar surroundings, your spiritual location has shifted. You have crossed into a new address in the spirit. The enemy can no longer track you by your old patterns. People will begin responding to you differently without understanding why. The favor, once delayed, will now seek you out. Why? Because the envelope wasn't just a message. It was your spiritual passport. Now, let me speak to the part of you that still whispers. But what if I fail? Hear this in your spirit. You cannot fail what was written before you were born. You can only delay it or rise into it. And you, beloved, have chosen to rise. Archangel Michael now extends his sword, not in battle, but in blessing. He anoints the path before you. He assigns his angels to accompany you. 3 signs will now follow in the next 7 days, confirming that the contract has been sealed. You will receive a message or sign in 3s. 3 words, 3 knocks, 3 repeated confirmations. It will be subtle, but unmistakable. You will feel an unexplainable lightness where heaviness once lived. That is not random. That is release. The burden lifted when you said yes. A person, unexpected, will come to you with something you've needed, whether guidance, resource, or word. This is your confirmation that heaven is already responding. Now breathe deeply, for you are not who you were. You are now the carrier of a sealed, opened, and activated word. And Michael, voice strong as fire and soft as water, speaks the final line over you. You have been entrusted with light. What you carry will now awaken others. Go in the authority of what you now know. The door is open, and no man can shut it. And so it is. The envelope has been opened. The breakthrough has been delivered. The next chapter has begun.